Hi, welcome to my channel. It's Chef Fine as Wine, and today we're going to be making some meaty and flavorful spaghetti. Let's get right into it. Hit the subscribe button.
I've been taking on all this baggage, adding on so much weight. Had me thinking that I was average when you really don't play.
I have come up with a simplified, easy way to present this recipe to you as well as the video. These are all the ingredients that we're going to need. We're going to start with our ground turkey, our minced garlic, our Prego chunky tomato, onion, and garlic, our diced tomatoes, green bell peppers and red bell peppers, smoked sausages. We have a white onion. And I'm going to also show you the seasonings that we're going to be using. Okay, we're going to use Louisiana hot sauce, the Sazon in the pack, black pepper, parsley, oregano leaves. I have a little bit of sugar and lemon pepper. Okay, I have ground onion as well as granulated garlic. I'm going to use some thyme for this recipe, as well as some roasted garlic salt, Lori seasoning salt, basil leaves. This is rotisserie chicken seasoning and carne steak meat seasoning. This dish is full of flavor. Just know that. All right, we're going to wash our vegetables off. Yes, I am using dishwashing liquid to sanitize my vegetables. Nowadays, you have to. It's just a must. You don't know what's on your vegetables. Cleanliness is next to godliness, and we're going to display that here on this channel. I've seen this recipe over there on Kicking It with Lynn's channel. Go subscribe to her. As soon as you're able to, I'll put her links down below in the description box. She was making some spaghetti on one of her most recent videos, and it was looking so good I had to go ahead and make it. So I'll leave the link to that video as well. Make sure you chop up your vegetables, your onions, green bell peppers, and red bell peppers. We're going to coat our skillet with some oil, olive oil preferably. And then I'm decided to start with frying my smoked sausages. We're going to caramelize those, make those real brown. And we're going to also add our vegetables in there with it, okay? Because we want all that flavor to incorporate, as well as adding our minced garlic. This is one ingredient that's very important when you're making spaghetti, because it just gives it a different flavor that's really, really, really delicious. And add your seasoning salt. I say I added about 1.5 teaspoons of that, as well as black pepper, the same amount, 1.5 teaspoons. Black pepper is another ingredient that's very important for spaghetti. We're going to add the steak and carne meat seasoning. I've been making spaghetti since I was very young, so I am very skilled at this recipe, I tell you. So that is our thyme that we're going to add. This is the first time I've used thyme actually ever, and that's just me honestly speaking. This is our rotisserie chicken seasoning. I saw this seasoning at like a Pete's Fresh Market. You can find that in any grocery store, I'm sure. Check out the seasoning aisles. Go ahead and give that a good stir. And it's starting to smell good already. I'm here to tell you, I would not lie to you. You got to make this recipe. It is awesome. Basil is another seasoning that's very important when you're making any type of Italian dish or spaghetti or lasagna or anything like that. Add some basil, oregano. Those are two very important ingredients. And thyme. Thyme is actually good, a good natural herb to use for your dishes. This is garlic salt, roasted garlic and salt and parsley seasoning that I found. First time using that. And it definitely adds a lot of flavor. As you can see, I don't use any type of salt in my dishes. I don't really use a lot of salt anyway, unless I'm making like some eggs for breakfast or something like that. Now we're going to just add our ground turkey. Okay, go ahead and crush that up. We have about 2.5 pounds of ground turkey that we are adding for this spaghetti. You can use ground chuck, ground beef, ground chicken. I've seen people just mix it up. So you can use any type of ground meat that you want. You can use ground lamb. I preferably just choose to use ground turkey because it's lean and it has some protein, and this doesn't have all of that oil that the regular ground beef would have. So this is more carne seasoning as well as black pepper. As you add the more meat, you just want to continue to season. That's more oregano. And the reason I add more seasoning because I need flavor all through the dish, all through it. I found some ground onion seasoning in the grocery store that I really like. It's really minced down real good. So we're going to add some of that slowly. And I'd say we added about 1 tablespoonful. And the sazon, another important ingredient, it gives it just more and more flavor. And for this dish, we definitely want more flavor. And by the way, if you're new here and you haven't hit the subscribe button, please consider subscribing. And if you're able to, leave me a comment down below and let me know what is your favorite dish to cook during all seasons. And now we've added more ground onion and some Lori seasoning salt. And if you have any suggestions for recipes for me to cook on this channel, go ahead and put those comments down below as well. And we're coming up on Christmas, so Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to each and every last one of you guys. Thank you for the continued support. Our meat has come down to a low simmer, and that's what we want. Allow the steam to cook. I've also added some water to my pot, and that is all inside of that water, so that way your noodles will not stick. That is on a high heat, okay, so it can come to a good boil. These are all the spaghetti that we're using, the Cremate brand. I do break up my spaghetti in half. I don't like the long pieces for some reason. We're going to give that a good stir. I'm using my tongs to stir this because sometimes the noodles do stick to one another, and I do not want that. When they stick, it's hard for them to come apart, okay? So stir that really good with the oil. That way the oil, it could get blended in there with the oil and nothing will stick. And we're going to allow those noodles to cook for about 10 minutes. You can check those very often to just make sure you don't overcook those. No one wants no overcooked noodles. That's gross. Now, we did not drain our meat because, again, ground turkey doesn't have a lot of oil. And we don't want to lose all that flavor. So we keep that little oil that we have in the pan with the meat. And we just add our pasta sauce. This is tomato, onion, and garlic. Go ahead and put that in there. And we're going to probably have to season it some more as we're adding the sauce. Okay. I have added 2 big jars to this because I don't like dry spaghetti. I want to make sure it's sauce all up and through the dish. If you like, you can add a bay leaf right now to this. What I'm going to do is just add some more oregano. Here's where we add our sugar. I say I added about 2 tablespoonfuls of sugar. So another pack of sazon, some more black pepper. Again, since we added the sauce, you got to make sure that you add more seasoning because you want this dish to be seasoned all the way through. You don't want any bland spaghetti. I know I don't. Okay. Again, this dish, I've been cooking it since I was a child, so I'm very skilled at it. And if I want to make my own tomato sauce, I definitely am able to. But who got that type of time? Not me. So let's give this a good stir. And we're going to just continue to put that on a low heat because the tomato sauce has a tendency to pop. That is something to give it a kick. You add some Louisiana hot sauce. Now we can drain our water off our noodles. Make sure you have a good strainer and allow that hot water to drain off those noodles. Again, you want to continue to stir your noodles because you don't want those to stick. We're going to rinse those noodles off as well with warm water. We had a few additional noodles in the pot, so I took them out and added them to the rest of the noodles. Give that a good stir, and then we're just going to rinse it off real good to avoid sticking. Once they're out of the water, they do have a tendency to just dry up and become really, really sticky. So we don't want that. It's very important when you're making this dish that your noodles and your meat will be done at the same time. That way you could quickly combine the two. Get you a separate pot. Put your noodles in one separate pot. Don't put them all in at one time. Gradually. It's like building a lasagna, if you will. Okay. Add your noodles, then your meat sauce, and then more noodles. Or you could just start mixing and blending everything and stirring everything. That way, there's meat all the way through the pasta and everything is nice and even. Again, I've seen this recipe on Kicking It With Lynn's YouTube channel. Go check her out. It's an awesome recipe. It looks so delicious. This is the first time I'm using smoked sausages in my spaghetti. Normally, I just use like some Italian sausages, but this is the first time I've used smoked sausages. And it's a lot of vegetables we added to this dish as well. So add more vegetables. It won't hurt you, I promise you. And add your whatever ground meat that you like, whether it be ground turkey, ground beef, ground chuck, ground lamb, ground chicken. Have your way, have your way with this dish. And if you do decide to make this, please tag Kicking It With Lynn in the video as well as myself. And thank you guys for the continued support. Please go ahead and make this dish. You won't regret it. And yes, it's very enjoyable. This dish will feed up to, I say, 10 people. This portion size will feed 10 people. And you can get seconds. And you'll be able to provide seconds to the 10 people as well. Of course, I don't have 10 people over here. But trust me, it's going to get taken care of. And if you have additional spaghetti left, you can put it in Ziploc freezer bags and freeze it for like a dinner, maybe a dinner engagement that you're going to be having at your home, and you want something quick that you can cook. This way it'll already be cooked, and you just thaw it out and heat it up. I do prefer you to heat it up on the stove, not in the microwave. The microwave will change the taste of the dish, and we don't want that. Go ahead, pop it in on the stove, put a little water, and allow that steam to cook it. And it's going to be just like you made it fresh on the stove. I don't use microwaves myself. I use like ovens or the stove itself. Look at that. It looks so good. We're going to plate it, add a little parsley on top, and dig right on in. Thank you so much for watching Chef Finest Wine. Check out my other recipes here on this channel. And I really, really hope you enjoyed this dish. Thank you so much.
I've been taking on all this baggage, adding on so much weight. Had me thinking that I was average when you're really the plan.